In that place of depth and sweetness, excitement for your spiritual practice. And allow the body to just melt towards the mat as if more of the body could contact your yoga mat if you relaxed a little bit more, this pooling and releasing. And from this very relaxed, receptive space, just start to observe your breath flow. And so often we want to change it, control it, direct it. But just like Baba's been telling us, see if you can get out of the way and let the consciousness of your breath take over. And notice the sensations that come along with the breath, any sense of expanse, opening, a drinking in, receiving, and then a release and emptying, a softening. As you continue to witness your breath and maybe even enjoy the sensations it creates internally, just begin noticing your body as a whole, a perfect whole resting here on your yoga mat. As you hold the wholeness of your body in your awareness, just notice any areas of tightness and give yourself permission to adjust, perhaps broadening the space between the feet or sliding the shoulders gently away from the base of the skull. Gently tucking the chin so the back of the neck can relax. Any of those little clues that your body gives you as to how to be more comfortable, how to be more happily present as you inhabit this physical form. And as we prepare to add more movement into our practice, I invite you to keep coming at it this way that Baba has directed us, to be softer, to be more receptive, to release a sense of doership. In yoga, that sometimes means pushing a little further or exerting a little more. See if you can hold this same space of melting and softening and being receptive as we invite more movement into our practice. So with that, I will invite you guys to hit play on the first track and set that single track to loop so it keeps playing until I tell you to go to the next one. And ever so gently, and I really mean it because the feet can get tired here, so minimal effort, start to circle your feet, keeping the heels soft and resting on the floor. Just start to draw some small or big but definitely easeful circles with the toes. And then just because we can always benefit from more softness, reduce your effort by 50% and reduce your speed by 50%. And see if that can help you move a little more consciously less stewardship. And start to notice the ripple effect of this very simple movement. So perhaps you can feel the massage on the heels, which magically lubricates the whole posterior chain of the body. Hopefully that will help us later. Notice the changing relationship between the foot and the shin bone. You might notice some really subtle sensations around the ankle as the foot rotates. Go the opposite direction as long as that's comfortable, but keep moving slow and consciously. And then start to notice how the entire leg responds to this movement. Hi Tulsi, welcome. There's a playlist in the chat box. Oh, okay. And bring your awareness all the way up to your hip sockets. And notice how these really gentle foot circles have the capacity to travel all the way up the thigh, allowing us to gently rotate the thigh bone and the hip socket, creating a little bit more space in this area that might be sore or fatigued from all of our sitting. And then just gently point the toes away from you and notice a sense of opening through the top of the legs. You can press down ever so gently with the heels. Notice how that energizes the legs and maybe even helps you puff up through the front of the body. You can wiggle around a little bit. And then start to circle the arms overhead, but keep the hands on the ground so that there's more tactile sensation as you snow angel the arms overhead and pause. Notice a sense of spaciousness in the neck and shoulders, and if it's not there, let's try again and create more space this time. So circle the arms down, walk the shoulder blades slightly down the back, and as you circle the arms the second time, imagine trying to lift your rib cage away from your pelvis and see if that helps you find a little bit more softness in the shoulders. Point toes, reach hands apart, and allow the whole body to melt and stretch open. And then gently wrap your arms around yourself, giving yourself a big hug. Find a little bit of gratitude for your physical body and make that commitment in your heart to be really sweet and gentle with yourself through this practice. And then bend the knees, glide the heels towards the sits bones, and gently curl up, bringing the elbows towards the knees. And then melt the body back down, extend the legs, and allow the elbows to start to drip over the face. Slowly opening the arms and circling them all the way back down. And we're going to do that whole sequence again. So start with just one gentle foot circle, feeling the rotation of the legs. And then circle the arms overhead, full body stretch. Keep the arms heavy as you slowly wrap them around you and then curl up to our easeful hug. Crunch, knees and elbows touch. And then release the legs and allow the arms to melt overhead. Reach hands and feet apart. Lift the right leg. Cross the right leg over the left And allow the right foot to come to the earth towards the screen. Pull the foot away from the body so it slowly drags you on the left side of your body. And enjoy the slow melting action as the leg continues to pull away. Allow the body to come to rest on the belly, off of the mat. If that drives you nuts, you can wiggle your way back onto the mat. That's okay. And then hug the legs together, tent the fingertips, and ever so gently start to push into the left hand. And as you push into the left hand, notice the energy in the left arm, the left shoulder, and let that start to push the body gently over to the right. And then let's reverse it. Push into the right hand and notice the sensations traveling up the arm into the chest, into the back, and allow that strength to push you the other way. And do this a few times, letting the movement start at the fingertips and try to trace that pathway of how just that gentle pressure melts you from side to side. And then push evenly into both hands so there's a sense of equal support in the arms and the shoulders. And keep the hands on the earth as you drag them back, reaching towards the heels. Peel one vertebra up at a time for a flying cobra pose. Really buoyant. Make sure the sensation is dispersed through the whole body and not localized at the low back. And then stay upright, but reach your arms to a T. Bend the elbows, tent the fingertips, and gently start to sway from side to side, just like we did before. But now the hands are wider and you're in a back bend, and so you might notice the different sensation as you sway here. A supported heart opener. Pause at center. Drag the hands back and gently push into the hands to send the hips back to the heels. Tuck the toes under. Melt the forehead if it's comfortable. Let the armpits just gently soften and massage the forehead, rock from side to side. And then push down into the knees, slowly lifting the hips. Allow the hands to drag back to a table as the back slowly rises. Pause for a moment in table. Let the spine neutralize and shift to your left. So the left knee comes onto the mat. So you've got a little extra padding here. Extend the right leg back and the left arm forward, and just take one balancing crunch. And then set the left hand down. Stay in that crunch. Push down into the hand and the left foot to just gently rise, challenging the core a little bit, and then set the left knee down, and let's do it again. So left arm reaches out, right arm or left hand, right leg, and then crunch. Stay crunched, but put the left hand down. Push down into hands and back toes to hover into a weightless plank crunch. And one last time on your own. And then set the left foot down, or the right foot down, so you're in a hovering table. And just to start to pick up opposite hand and foot, playing with a cheetah walk. And start to walk your cheetah over to the left, back onto your mat. If you've got space, you can cross the mat and then come back to it. And then gently release the knees down. Step the hands forward. Push into the hands to hover knees and stretch the hips back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. And gently sway the hips from side to side. And notice that similar connection of pushing more into one hand at a time and noticing the strength and those sensations traveling up into the shoulder, into the chest, into the back, allowing the whole body to respond. And then equal weight, come to center. Slowly lower the knees back down, being aware of that whole pathway. And then walk hands underneath the shoulders and bring a little extra weight into the U of the hand. So from the pinky down the outer side of the hand, up the thumb side, and let the rest of the knuckles hover away from the mat. So the hands are really, really soft. And then just start to paw out your hands on your mat, off your mat, walking the hands around to build a little more awareness in the arms and the upper body. The movements can be really tiny or more expressive if you're feeling expressive. And then slowly start to walk the hands towards the knees, bringing a little more weight into the bottom half of the body. Push down into the knees, slowly rising up to kneeling, and shift the weight into the right knee. Reach the arms to T to help with balance, and start to hover the left knee. And if that's challenging, just stay there trying to find your balance. If you feel solid here, challenge yourself by starting to point the left knee in different directions. This is really great for the right hip. We're trying to give our hips a lot of love today. Nice. Great, Courtney. If you fall out of it, it means you're really trying to find a place where the hip can create more support, maybe support that's never been there before. So don't be afraid to push those boundaries as long as it feels loving. And then eventually set the left foot forward and set it a little wider than you might be used to. So there's just a lot of support for the pelvis. Drop the arms and gently start to bend into the left knee and allow the knee to surpass the ankle any amount that feels comfortable, and then bend and extend a couple of times till you can find a sense of springiness in that knee. Yeah, you guys are so good at this. It's great. And let's add the arms in. So the next time you bend into the knee, reach the arms back so there's almost a sense of like taking flight. Beautiful. And then push into the front foot, and as the hips travel back, allow the momentum to carry the arms up. And then let's repeat that a few times until it starts to feel really natural. Wow, you guys you're catching on quick. I love it. So bend the knee, drop the hands, push into the foot, lift the arms. Okay. We've got some people here live at Konalani too. So the next time you bend into the knee and drop the arms, play with lifting the back knee as long as that feels good. And just notice if you can have a sense of taking flight, and then set the back knee down. And do that a couple of times. And then the next time you lift, pause for a moment, push a little extra into the front foot, and send the arms skyward, allowing the whole body to expand and open for a moment. Observe a breath flow and just imagine all tension in the body dissolving. Even though there is support, there is some sense of effort here. It's mostly ease. And then reverse that, softening the back knee, reaching the arms back, shifting the weight slightly into the front foot so you can release the back knee down effortlessly. Great. And then lift the right arm. Extend through the left fingertips and take a nice side bend over to the left, opening up the whole right side of the body. Can even reach back slightly with the left hand to take that lateral side of the body a little deeper if it's comfortable. And then lift both arms, gaze up, release the hands inside of the left foot. Send the right knee back any amount so your hips have some space, and then just allow the hips to melt for one moment, just letting them naturally soften any amount towards the mat. Lift the back knee, shift the weight into the hands and the front foot, and start to slide the right knee forward in line with the hands. Bring the right hip down and take an easy twist away from the screen into that left knee, just lengthening the spine as you twist. And then step the left foot in front of the right knee. We're going to have a fun transition here. Right hand behind you, push into the left foot and the right hand to flip into table the opposite direction. Yes, I love doing yoga with yoga teachers. You guys are so awesome. So from tabletop, we'll repeat that sequence, starting with those nice gentle paws of the hands, lifting, changing direction. If the arms are starting to feel warmer, it's okay to bend the elbows a little bit and create a springiness. And then just make sure there's awareness with every movement you make. I know that's a lofty goal, but just keep bringing more and more presence into the body as you walk the hands back underneath the shoulders and then slowly towards the knees. Push down into the knees, rolling up one vertebra at a time. And then shift the weight into the left knee, arms to a T or a low V, and hover the right toes. Stay there or challenge your balance a little bit more by starting to point the right knee in different directions. And you can let your body move as well. So the knee initiates the movement, but the rest of the body can follow. You can use your arms as a counterbalance. Anything goes as long as it feels safe and nourishing in the left hip socket. And eventually we'll step that right foot forward and wide, but you don't have to rush to get there. Great, and we'll play with some of those bounces. So start by bending into the front knee and become really present with the front foot. So notice the front heel, notice the inside and outside of the ball mound, and allow the foot to be really grounded and supported as you shift the weight forward and back. The next time the weight is in the foot, kick into the foot, and so there's really a sense of rebound as the pelvis lifts up, and then we'll start to add in our arms. So the next time the knee bends, reach the hands back, and then kick into the foot to let the arms hover. Take a couple of those bounces. You have the option at any time to start lifting the back knee as the weight shifts forward, and then set it back down. And if ever that's not comfortable, just stay with those nice rebounds with the back knee down. But we're trying to find ease here. And the next time the knee lifts, pause there, kick into the front leg, slowly lift the arms, taking a moment to expand in every direction. Imagine your inner self just cracking through the walls of your skin, becoming so much bigger than your physical form. And then shift the weight forward, reach the hands back, slowly, consciously lower the back knee down. Walk the right foot a little wider off to the right, melt the hands inside the foot, and then allow the hips to melt. And if you need more space, just reach the left knee a little further away from the right heel. Can gently sway the hips here if that's comfortable. Lift the back knee, shift the weight forward, and slowly drag the left knee between the hands. Set the left hip down. Modified Urdhva Matsyendrasana, just gently twist to the right, lengthening the spine. Option to gaze over the right shoulder. And then extend both legs and slowly melt onto the back. Back at the beginning. And just take a moment here to find even more softness. Notice any sense of awareness building internally. Maybe a little warmth or tingling. And we'll repeat that sequence and we'll build on it. And if you're following along with the music, you can go to the next track. Now is also a great time to have a sip of water. And The parts that you've already done, we're going to move just a little faster through them, but still try to bring that same level of consciousness. And then we'll add on to our standing sequence. So from our mini Shavasana position, we'll start with a foot circle and then point the toes away from you. Snow angel, the arms overhead. And then give yourself a big hug with the opposite arm on top and slowly curl up, elbows to knees. And then extend the legs out and let the elbows get really heavy as they melt over the forehead. The arms stretch overhead. Lift the right leg, cross it over the left, and slowly roll yourself over the left side onto the belly. Tent the fingertips, push into the left hand, gently arcing over to the right, and then go back the other way. And just one more time, each side. And then from center, circle the arms, keep them heavy on the earth. Reach back towards the feet and slowly peel one vertebra at a time off of the mat. Pause for a moment and just gently sway from side to side, releasing any sense of tension or overexerting in the back body. And then from center, reach the arms to T, bend elbows and tent the fingertips. Push into one hand at a time, snaking the spine from side to side. In the second round, maybe there's an opportunity to find a little more fluidity in the spine, a little more awareness as the S shape travels down to the sacrum. And then come back to center, drag the hands back, push into the hands, sending hips to heels. Take a moment to melt in Bhaktasana, tuck the toes under. It's okay to gently rock from side to side. And then push down into the knees and the shins, slowly rolling the spine up, letting the hands drag back into cat pose. And then walk onto the mat so the right knee is on the mat so that we have some cushioning for the right knee this time. Extend the left leg back, extend the right arm forward, lengthen hand and foot apart, and then just gently draw elbow to knee, letting the back of the body round. And then place the right hand down, push into the hands to hover the right knee, and then release the foot down and allow the body to unfurl back into that balancing table. And then squeeze elbow to knee, right hand down, lift the back knee, curl forehead to knee if it's comfortable, and then drop the knee, let the whole front of the body unfurl. Do that one more time on your own, noticing the sense of the front of the body contracting as you lift, and then just releasing and opening effortlessly as you lower. And then set the right hand down, set the left foot down, and hover both knees. Take a couple of bounces, lifting opposite hand and foot for our cheetah walks. And this time you can walk off of the mat, exploring some side-to-side movement with your buoyant pelvis. The hardest part of this is trying to keep your alternating hand and foot. So have fun with that brain exercise, and it's okay if there's a lot of growth to come from it. And then come back to center on the mat. Slowly release the knees, step the hands forward, and push into the hands to reach hips up, extending naturally through the back of the legs. Gently sway the hips from side to side, pushing into one hand at a time. And if you want a little bit more here, you're welcome to swivel the heels from side to side. So as you push into the right hand, swivel the heels to the left. And then go the opposite way. That feels really good. The next time the heels swivel, you can lift the top arm, but only if your body's really hungering for a little bit more effort. Nice. And then release both hands down, release the knees down, and walk the hands underneath the shoulders. Remember that sense of cupping the earth with the U from the pinky to the thumb, and start to bend and extend the elbows as if your arms are springs. So you bend the elbows, notice a sense of support in the shoulders, and if you're not feeling that, walk the hands back a little bit more just to make sure there's not any tension in the neck, and start to bounce a little bit. So as the elbows bend, they take weight, and then power into the hands to lift the body. Nice. Yeah, find a sense of playfulness here and sweetness. And if this feels really great, you can take the hands in different directions, or just continue in the same way. Allowing the body to explore a little bit, strengthening in a really holistic way. And then bring the hands to center. One final spring to come up to the knees. Awesome. And then step the left foot forward, reach the hands down and back, and take a couple of those bounces that we played with before. But now you're a pro, so the next time you shift the weight into the left foot, let the right knee lift, and then push into the left foot to let the front of the body open. And now we'll play with that same experience with the back knee lifted. So shift the weight forward, reach the hands back, and then kick into the front foot, letting the whole body lift. Yeah, you guys are really good at this. As the back heel comes down, it can connect to the earth like Virabhadrasana 1, or it can stay lifted like a high lunge, whatever is most comfortable for the hips and the legs. The next time you shift forward, feel free to take flight into Virabhadrasana 3, but you don't have to. And if that's working out well for you, drop the back foot just like we did before and see if you have a little more momentum to lift higher in your back bend. So we'll take a few more moments to play either in the high lunge or Vira 3, dropping back down into Vira 1 with the heart opening. The next time the back heel lifts or releases, pause there. Make sure the pelvis feels supported so you can widen the feet or shorten your stance a little. Drop the left hand and reach up through the right side of the body, letting the connection from arm to shoulder to side body to right hip socket, maybe even down into the right quad. Let all of that space open. Gently sway forward and back. And then reach the arms forward and dramatically sweep them over to the right, turning all 10 toes to the side. And we're going to do some speed skaters. So kick into the left foot and reach your left hand forward, letting the whole left side body open. Bend the right knee a little bit and then reverse it. Push into the right foot. Yeah. And then start to sway from side to side, noticing this sense of springiness as you let the body move naturally, right? You don't have to think about where to put the torso and the shoulders. Darcy, you're really good at this one. Do you ice skate? I don't think this is actually like ice skating, but we can pretend. And the next time you reach over to the right, pause there for a moment. Turn the right toes out and push into the feet, lifting into a nice short supported Virabhadrasana 2. And just take one moment here. And then shift towards the right, lift the left toe, and slowly release over the front leg, releasing the hands down, drop the back knee, let the hips melt for a moment. Flatten the top of the back foot, and if it's comfortable, roll on the back foot a little bit so that you're getting more exploration of the left leg. You might notice some connections into the outside of the left hip or into the groin. And then we're going to do that sequence on the other side. So we'll start by pushing down into the legs to slowly rise up into our lunge. Hands lift, bend the right knee, drop the hands, push into the right foot, spring up. As you're ready, tuck the back toes and lift the back knee the next time the weight shifts forward. Play with a couple of those springs, and then option to spring into Virabhadrasana 3, and then let the foot lower into Virabhadrasana 1. And just keep a sense of suppleness in the legs so there's not too much exertion. It's really momentum and like riding the wave, as Baba teaches us, right? The next time you shift into Vira 3, you can pause there for a moment if it feels good. Kick into the left foot, let the left toes turn out, shifting back into Vira 2, and then turn all 10 toes to the side and take those speed skaters, kicking into one leg at a time, letting the whole body lengthen and sway. Yeah, as you get the hang of this movement, you can come onto the back toes as you kick if that feels natural and good. And then swing all the way over to the left. Bring a little more weight into the left foot. Extend the right toes open and pause for a moment in Virabhadrasana 2. Let the weight settle evenly in both feet. If the arms are tired, you can soften them and let them just hang like gorilla arms. And just let the breath pour through you. Push into the right toes. Lift the right heel. Slowly melt inside of the left foot. Drop the right knee. Flatten the top of the right foot. And just gently melt the hips, rolling from side to side. Tuck back toes, lift the back knee, push into the front foot, and the hands to slowly drag the right knee forward, sit the right hip down, and just gently twist to the left, lengthening the spine, allowing the breath to massage the organs and the muscles of the back, the belly, and the hips. And then allow the legs to naturally and effortlessly start to unfold in front of you. Bend the knees slightly and just melt over the legs. Don't resist any urge to force a deep forward fold. Just find as much ease as possible. And then kick into the heels, allowing the whole front of the body to expand and open, sending you all the way onto your back. Back at the beginning, but flipped the other way. And just pause. Let everything in your body soften. See if you can release any doership. Shavasana might be the easiest pose to do that in. And now is a great time to go to the next track. Have a sip of water. And then we'll just start to cool down. And then we'll take Shavasana, but we'll use all of that nice springiness and juiciness that you've cultivated in your body to have a really nourishing cool down that should feel like a free massage. And so from the back, make a big circle with the feet, and as the toes reach away from you, Start to push down into the heels, letting the front of the legs open, let the front of the hips open, and see if it's comfortable to just gently hover. And it's okay if it's still touching, but just lift your hips so there's just a little less weight of your bum on the earth. And then set everything down, drag the heels in, stacking them underneath the feet. And we'll use that same sense of buoyancy as we lift into Seita Bandha Sarvangasana. So drag the heel, keep them planted, but energetically drag the heels towards the shoulders and allow that to open the front of the body, letting the pelvis lift so easily. The shoulder blades can gently walk down the back, reach the fingertips towards the heels, and then just set the spine back down and make any adjustments to the feet that will help your knees feel more supported. So perhaps walking the feet a little wider or further away, and then try again. If you need to do that again, you're welcome to, or you can hold this time if it feels more supportive. You can just observe the breath, or you can gently sway the pelvis so that you release any tension, any doership, and you let yourself just melt from side to side. And then from center, set one vertebra down at a time and really try to feel that moment, that singularity. And then just pause when the sacrum hits the earth and feel the whole earth just rising up to support you. And gently pull the knees into the chest. Give yourself a big hug. Let the chin gently rise towards the knees. And then release the torso down and roll onto the right side of your body. Stack your hands so the fingertips are pointed away from the heart, and then gently lift the left hand up and overhead like you're drawing a big rainbow to the other side of the mat. And when you feel the point of tension, when the hip wants to start to lift, don't resist it. Let the left hip and the left knee start to lift as you slowly roll to the other side, the mirror image of what you just did. And the knees and the hands close like the pages of a book, and then we reverse it. So right hand rainbows up and overhead. Let the right hip follow so you're not in too deep of a twist, and just slowly roll back to your starting point. And do this a few times on your own, moving as slowly as you can so you can really feel the beauty of this movement, everything in your body connected and just gently flowing. As if you're a very graceful baby, just discovering your body. And then next time you roll to your right, just pause there. And we'll all meet there. No need to rush. Just enjoy wherever you are in the path. Let the left arm be really heavy and slowly start to circle it overhead, but keep the arm melting towards the floor. As the arm surpasses the head, let it slowly pull the shoulder and the heart open so the back of the heart starts to melt towards the mat. And we don't want any strain in the shoulder or any tension in this twist. So only go as far as feels really natural, as if your body was melting and pooling and there was no resistance. And then complete the circle. Let the left hand meet the right again, and you can pause. And then whenever you're ready, take a couple more circles, just finding the most effortless twists possible. It's okay to allow the left knee to lift, or just don't twist very far. On the last round, if you want to gaze to the left and pause in the twist, you can. Allow the breath to massage you. And then complete the circle so you're back at the beginning. And then take 1 or 3 of those fun rolls. Either way, you'll end up on your left side. And we'll do the same thing on the left side. And so whenever you're there, you can start to circle your heavy right arm, allowing it to just melt you open. No resistance in the body. Imagine you just don't even have any bones, right? It's just soft tissue. And we'll take a few circles here at whatever pace feels natural, and whenever you want to pause in the twist, you're welcome to. You're welcome to gaze over the right hand. And as you're ready, finish the circle with the right arm. Take a moment to rest on the left side. And if you would like to take a couple more of those easeful rolls to massage the back body, you're welcome to, or we can just meet on our backs. Extend the legs out and take a moment at center, letting everything soften. And if you're ready for Shavasana, you're welcome to grab any props that help you find the most comfortable Shavasana. If there's something else that your body is asking for, you're welcome to add in a pose. And I am going to just guide a really simple neck stretch that you can do from Shavasana, but you're welcome to skip it if you're just like ready to release completely. So if you'd like to try the neck stretch, and this is a good time to pause the music too, you can let the head get really, really heavy and open the eyes, and then imagine you're trying to look at the top of the mat and start to gaze up and let the back of the head slide on the mat so that you're gazing at the wall behind you. And then reverse that motion, letting the back of the head lengthen away from the shoulders. Tuck the chin and apply a slight pressure so the back of the neck can really open. And then just soften, let everything come to neutral. And you can try that a couple more times on your own, taking your neck into extension. And then that just slight flexion with pressure. And then neutral. And be really easy with yourself here. Even if it feels good, try to resist the urge to like really push and exert, and let it just be a really sweet, fluid exploration. And then walk the shoulders down the back when you've completed, and let your neck find just that balanced, happy medium where it can relax completely. And close your eyes and let the whole body soften. And notice the sweet massage of the breath, always there for you, always supporting you physiologically but also energetically. And see if after this incredible day, an incredible weekend of deep practice and teachings, connecting, you can really expand beyond the size of your body, harmonizing with your inner self, this vast, endless spaciousness. And we'll release into this space for the remainder of our time. Before you move, just take a moment to observe your body, observe your mind, your state of being, any sense of spaciousness and release. And as you start to invite movement back into the body, see if you can maintain this inner awareness and consciousness and presence, this ability to walk in both worlds, inside and out. And let the inner consciousness come first, And then let it start to generate little movements, little waking sensations. And as that process evolves, allow the movements to get bigger until you feel ready to explore a pathway to seated. But take your time and try to enjoy that simple journey of movement. And whenever you arrive, you can bring hands to the heart and just take a moment to remember that connection and find a little gratitude for our teacher, the teachings, and our Sangha. And just let the next couple of breaths be an investment in that gratitude. And I'm so grateful to get to practice with each of you. Thanks for being here and making this intensive weekend just so incredible. Enjoy the last class with Baba tonight, and Happy New Year, everybody. See ya.